guys, my name is Evelyn, the Evelyn here at Crane's Hearth, and welcome back to another Chit Chat. So one of the things that I decided I should probably do for a Chit Chat is pass on to you guys the lessons that I have learned in the 4 to 5 years that I've been bullet journaling. And these are just my lessons, these are my tips, and there's only one of them that I really want you guys to listen to hardcore. So the first lesson about bullet journaling that I can pass on to you guys is start with Ryder Caroll, the person who created the system. You will note in the description I will have all of my points. I won't have them broken down, but underneath of number 1 you will see a link to the YouTube, the Instagram, and the website and the book. Why start with Ryder Caroll? He's the person who put together the entire system. This was born out of his ADHD brain. There have been a lot of people who have been not starting their friends and their bullet journal journey out with Ryder Caroll, which is leading to a large number of people becoming frustrated with the system because they didn't start with Ryder's explanation. Start with his YouTube video about the bullet journal system. Because when you're starting out bullet journaling, the first month to 3 months, you want to stick with that bare bones approach that he talks about. Because you're in the process of figuring out whether or not this particular system is going to work for you. Point number 2, and yes, I have these written down. You need to be patient with yourself because you're learning to see if the system works for you, which means not being mad at yourself for mistakes. You could find that you don't want to do dailies. You just want to do a page with, your week and notes, and that's it. You don't want to have, you may decide that you don't want to try trackers or anything like that. But when you're doing the bare bones approach, don't be afraid to not use something if it doesn't seem like it's working within what you need from the bullet journal system. Point number 3, it is never going to be perfect. Lines will squiggle, rulers and pens are going to break over time, pens are going to run out of ink, or you just don't have the energy that day to do a complicated spread, and there's nothing wrong with that. But your bullet journal is never going to be perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's meant to be a tool in your toolbox to calm your life down and to help you really figure out if you're focusing way too much time and energy on something extraneous that you could be putting that time and energy into something else. It's meant to help you figure out what really is a worthwhile goal for your day. The next point is your style is going to change. If you find it's working for you, the bullet journal method, you're going to end up experimenting with it a lot. You will find yourself becoming more and more curious about other things that you can use your bullet journal to track in. There are a large number of people who use bullet journals to track their reactions to their medications, and that's the only thing they use it for. There are other people who use their bullet journal to track their body's reactions as they're attempting to find out if they have an allergy to a particular food, called a reduction diet, by the way. Not fun, and it's something I've had to do a lot in the past. And I really wish I would have had the bullet journal method at my fingertips and known to me when I was going through and trying to figure out if I was allergic to dairy. Oh, it would have been so much easier tracking things if I had known about the bullet journal method back then. So much easier. But you're gonna find as you stick with it longer, you're gonna start experimenting with a new kind of pen or different kinds of pens. You'll find yourself experimenting with different notebooks. You'll find yourself experimenting with, hey, maybe I wanna use a little washi tape today, or hey, I really am getting into stamps, stickers. I'm currently going through a very nice long phase of scrapbooky style collaging in my bullet journal. Just because it feels like the proper way for me to authentically express myself in my bullet journal right now. We'll phrase it that way. If something isn't working for you, stop using it. Bullet journaling works best when you listen to yourself about what you are needing from your bullet journal, which goes back to a part of what I was saying in the prior point, that there are people out there who use their bullet journal exclusively for tracking their medication symptoms. If a sleep tracker doesn't work for you, don't use it. If a mood tracker doesn't work for you, don't use it. I don't use a mood tracker. It's not a practical use of the page or pen for me. If you don't like having a gratitude page every month, or it just doesn't work out to use it every month, then don't use one every month. I don't. I have one for December, and I have one that I do roughly around May, June. Every 6 months, I'll do a gratitude page in my journal. If you find that you like the bare bones Ryder Caroll method and you will do aesthetic stuff around that and you don't want to use trackers, that's okay too. Your bullet journal needs to work for you, and that means being honest about what is working. The last one, this one might be a little controversial for some folks. Don't get the expensive stuff at first. You have to figure out first if bullet journaling is going to work for you. And when it does, as your style of journaling evolves over time, you'll find out what you like best over said time. Now, a large number of people could tell you their favorite journal after they've been doing it for several years right off the bat. Because you've got the heavy hitters of Archer and Olive, Leuchtturm, Notebook Therapy, Primrosia on Amazon, I think, is another one, and there's several other notebook companies out there. Exceed, Artist's Loft, I think is what it's called, from Michaels. Hobby Lobby has bullet journals now as a part of their stationery and sketchbook and notebook section. I haven't been in a Joann's recently, so I don't know how much that section is expanded for them. But, you know, I didn't get Archer and Olive stuff until I had saved up to get the subscription boxes. And then they had a great Black Friday sale last year, and I was able to convince my husband that it was worth letting me spend money on an expensive journal, and I moved into an Archer and Olive notebook for July. My note card. Where'd you go? Yeah. Sorry about that. But I moved into an Archer and Olive notebook this July, and I'm wishing I had done it sooner. It's the way it feels in the hand to write on. The quality is a very tactile experience for me. It's a wonderful notebook. And from what I've heard from a large number of people, the notebook therapy notebooks are quite nice too. You know, I've used Exceed. I won't be using Exceed again because it's just too flimsy. Too flimsy. And that's not to say that an Exceed journal wouldn't work for you. It's just I put my journals through a lot of use, and the Exceed notebooks don't hold up to that particular use. I've got several Moleskine notebooks that I was gifted by a friend. He didn't need them anymore, and I'm like, ooh. And you guys can bet that at least 1 month next year, because it looks like I'm going to be able to fit about 5 months into this, and I've already got my next bullet journal picked out. But one of my months next year, I will have another lined bullet journal notebook that I'll be doing, and it's going to be one of the Moleskines. Bonus tip time. If you want to try a new tracker out, try it out via a weekly spread instead of a monthly. And when you have figured out whether or not that it's a spread/tracker that works for you, then upgrade it to a monthly level. Like some weeks you might find you want to track your sleep, but you don't want to do it for the month. That would be something that you'd want to make a note of. But it's okay if you find that you only need a particular weekly tracker every few weeks. Some spreads are just not appropriate for a monthly spread for a large number of people, depending on what their lifestyle, their work style, and their home life is like. Tip number 2, if you need a break, take it. Almost every single person who posts on the internet and the YouTube, the Instagram, and various other places where you can see bullet journaler community. Man, I'm struggling with that word today. A lot of them will talk about burnout. And a lot of them this year had burnout. I had burnout this year from other factors, but if it wasn't for my bullet journal, that burnout would have impacted my homestead and my home way more severely. As it was, nothing burnt down, no animals got sick, my husband and his sanity did not implode. But if you need a break, take it. If you're not looking forward to reaching for your bullet journal is not going to work for you. Tip number 3, don't compare your journal to someone else's. Don't compare journals. Okay, their journal is designed for them, not you. Your bullet journal is being designed by you for you, not them. Two completely different people with two different end goals. Okay? And the main reason for pointing that out is what one person does in their bullet journal is not going to be a carbon copy for what you need. Okay? Here in my bullet journal, I have a leftovers tracker because my husband and I sometimes have a really bad habit of forgetting what leftovers we have, and then 2 weeks down the road, it's, oh crap, when was this made? So, would a leftovers tracker work for you? I don't know. But don't assume that because I'm using it that you have to. You know, there are people who put playlist spreads in their bullet journals. I don't do that. I don't have a playlist every month that changes. I don't listen to a lot of the new music because a lot of it all sounds the same to me. And you're eyeballing my playlist back here. But, you know, let me open my bullet journal up here real quick and maybe I can show you guys a couple things. Like, I have a future log. I have to have a future log now, but I didn't used to. Ever since moving to the homestead, I had to upgrade my bullet journal spreads and have a future log because there are just enough moving parts in projects where I need to track when we can get piece X and piece Y in order to do project 32. And keeping track of that, along with budgeting and keeping track of when paychecks are coming in, that's all incredibly important for me as a bullet journaler who's also a homesteader. But that kind of thing may not be important for you. So, you know, I have a calendar spread now. That became pretty important. You know, I have a video dashboard spread, but that's because I make videos for YouTube. And you may not be a YouTuber. You know, I've got a section for things that I need to think about adding next month that I didn't add this month to my bullet journal. Like next month, because of how tight a lot of the economy is becoming for a large number of people who are living paycheck to paycheck, I'm actually going to be putting in a weekly meal planner spread in next month's setup. I've got my weekly house and homestead chores and my monthly as a section. You guys are probably not going to have a homestead section of chores that you want to track. I have a tasks list. It's a big task list too. And then all of my days, I don't do a 4-box or an 8-box weekly setup. The way August is right now, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. It's set up in, 3 sections. And that's what I need for this month. And you may not need that. So don't compare your bullet journal to someone else's because you don't know what they need out of their bullet journal. And to further make that point, my bullet journal right now looks nothing like my first bullet journal at all. So I don't compare my current bullet journal to my first bullet journal, my second bullet journal, or even the bullet journal that I just got done wrapping up in for July. not comparing them. Because that is putting and focusing time and attention on something that is not serving my current needs when I need to be using that time and energy to do something else. And that's it for today's Chit Chat, guys. Let me know if you like this second Thursday of every month upload. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me set up this spread / collection of my lessons and tips that I've learned. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you decide to stick around, because it would be nice if you decide to stick around by hitting the subscribe button. Let me know if you want to see some more bullet journaling content about, possibly what I do use in my bullet journal and what I don't use in my bullet journal and why, and, maybe some stories about why I rely on the bullet journal. I don't know. Leave me a comment down below if you liked how everything was set up today, if you guys liked how I did the format here. Leave me a thumbs up, all that fun stuff. Hug your loved ones tight. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.